Most CEOs think choosing between a fractional chief revenue officer and a full-time chief revenue officer is simply a hiring decision. It isn't. It's a sequencing decision. It determines whether or not you scale with discipline or if you burn runway chasing the wrong operating potential. Today on Blown on Business, I'm going to dig into this. I'm going to walk you through exactly how not to screw this up. All right, so I'm glad you're here. I'm Rich Laster with growexpand.com. You need to understand what the real revenue leadership crunch is. CRO scope has expanded across marketing, sales, success, pricing, operations, client experience. You need to understand that. So in understanding that, we're not going to spend a lot of time on the negatives about what happens if you hire a full-time CEO and then you bring on a full-time CRO and you now have this massive payroll, but you don't yet have the strategy nor the systems in place to make payroll. Let's not do that. So what's a CRO do for your business? Bottom line, revenue architecture. All right. It needs to be coherent. It needs to make sense. You built your business centered around a client who you help. The chief revenue officer understands this and built out how, one, we're moving that person along their buyer journey through our sales pipeline, what onboarding them looks like, how to avoid missed opportunities, and how sales stays entrenched during the client experience to avoid missing any referral opportunities or any cross-sell or upsell opportunities. Cross-selling and upselling is, it's like, duh, right? This is fundamental. And if you're going to build a business around how you specifically deliver your unique value proposition, you need to have the right systems in place so that you can lead instead of having to manage every department in your organization. Whew, it's exhausting to think about, okay? Fractional CRO is the right move when you're getting off the ground. Your seed stage, you're trying to get to Series A. Okay, let me break that down. Seed stage, you're at 2 to 20 million. You're trying to get to 20 to 50. Understand? In that moment, you've built a business, you've gotten to a point where you can afford help, but only help that impacts top line revenue. If you need help making sure that you're profitable, reach out to Jabri at 4Palm. They are the only fractional chief financial officer I recommend because I've seen him work. He goes in, he builds the infrastructures, the systems required so that that system spits out the forecasting you need based on actual, clean, quality data so you know when you're profitable. Truly. All right? Cash or accrual is not a concern. Let the accountants worry about that. You need to be able to look at your business and not be looking at pie in the sky. 4palm.com, the only fractional chief financial officer you need to know about. But back to chief revenue officers. I want you to understand when a fractional is the right move, and they're usually the right first move. Why? You need to design the strategy, the systems to make that strategy real inside the business, the diagnostics to know when that system is working, and the discipline, CEO, sales leadership, sales team, the discipline to every day be executing what needs to be executed. Sales team, every day, KPIs. What activities do they need to be doing? Sales leadership, every week. We're diagnosing what worked, what didn't, who was successful, who wasn't. Every month, the CEO sits down with the sales leadership and says, where are we strong? Where are we weak? What support do you need to be more successful? This is not someone you need full time yet. This saves you tens of thousands a month. Hear that one more time. I'm trying to save you tens of thousands a month. One, the system designed based on the strategy with the right diagnostics that encourage discipline, that drive performance. Okay. Two, you don't need a full time because your company, you're still clarifying your ICP. You should have done this when you developed your product or service. A good, minimally viable product is based on who you help. You do a lot of listening, you do a lot of listening, you do a lot of listening. So when it comes time to be selling, you're helping instead of fighting to convince. You understand that? If not, inbox me, jump in the comments, and I will answer you one-on-one because that's a longer conversation. Once we're clear on that ICP, right? The impact of fractional Chief Revenue Officer impact. Okay. We need to understand how we're committing cash. Right? If they are, take Grow Expand, for example, if they are between 5 to 20,000 a month, based on the amount of time you need them and the amount of work you need them to do in your organization, you're still saving at the top tier about, I'm going to say 35% of what a full-time would cost you. 35% matters when you're counting your nickels. Okay. Look, the benefits are you get the same level of expertise, but you don't get any of the bullshit. They're not sitting in their office playing Tetris, right? When they are on the clock with you, when they are working for you, they are working for you. The rest of the world does not exist. Their goal as a fractional, having done and been in this role before, their goal is to put you and your organization in position to hire a full-time. This is the foundational role. This is the key element. This is step one. Step two is full-time. Your fractional should be helping you onboard that person. All right. They know your business almost as well as you do because they've been right there next to you, driving top line revenue. So when we're looking for somebody, we're looking for somebody with a history of understanding how to repeat success. If we are not repeating revenue success, we are not scalable. Understand? We are looking for someone capable of forecasting based on clean data straight out of your CRM. If you need a sales velocity CRM, visit growexpand.com. They understand how to lead teams based on what? Daily KPIs. I don't confuse salespeople with too much information. You don't need to know what our annual goals are and our profitability. You need to know that last week you missed goal by 5%. This week, your new goal is standard plus 5%. We don't play. The full-time fractional needs to have that same attitude. All right. But they're doing more than just leading sales. Do not buy that misconception. This is the CEO and the CFO's best friend. Because what? Without top line revenue, the lights are not on. You pay your light bill? You pay your light bill, Frank? Listen, I want you to understand that the most beautiful resumes in the world can now be written by AI. people like fractional CROs know how to interview full-time CROs. We know when we're hearing bullshit and when we're hearing badass. And you need a bit badass if you're going full-time. Perhaps your board is encouraging you to go full-time. Well, perhaps your board is out of touch. Perhaps they're dead on. I can't judge that right now. What I can judge is until you can pay for that position without having to tell your spouse that there will not be a vacation this summer, that you will not be going to Jamaica this winter, then it's a stretch. Fractional help comes in, gets you in position where it's not a stretch, and then helps you find their replacement. You understand? The key benefits are in the framework that we use. One, the framework centers around clarity. Your revenue operations, your go-to-market for every region, every new state, every new country that you're going into. We need clarity around the foundational model so that we know where and how to pivot without losing our unique value proposition. Brand alignment, brand message alignment. This is huge, right? If you're not leading in brand first, then you need to talk to Orshi and Matt over at brand3.net. Okay? Period. So one, model clarity. Do we know who we are as a business? Do we understand that it centers around our unique value proposition? Do we understand that the hero in our story is our client? Each and every one of them. I take my clients personally. I did a demo this morning for a client of their new CRM. And when you see a client like sigh, like that sigh of relief sigh, you know you did your damn job. In a minute. It's the holidays, so the phone's blowing up a little bit. So one, model clarity. Two, operating maturity. A business of your size, they need to understand that. They need to also have some experience or a ridiculous amount of grit to get you where you're going. Personally, I take grit over experience. Because you've worked in enterprise level companies does not necessarily mean you're the CRO as we try to get to enterprise level. I need somebody middle market or small business level experienced with grit, ferociously sharp fangs, and claws. Because this is going to be a fight. And the fight isn't for survival. You're far past survival mode if you're watching this podcast. The fight is for success. And let me clarify, success is the journey. You learn more. Every serial entrepreneur will tell you this. You learn more building the business to the point where you're getting offers for 3 and 5x to sell the business. You learn more in that journey than you will at the destination. We're not woke. We're awakening. We're awakening a new version of you as CEO at every level. You have grit. Your chief revenue officer needs to have it too. I'm Rich Laster with growexpand.com. It's always great to come before you. It's always great to spend time with you. I will put this blog out next week so that you have all the I's and all the T's and they will be dotted and crossed. But right now, I need you to, one, enjoy your Thanksgiving. And two, I need you ready for January 1. If you are not, please visit my LinkedIn profile, visit my growexpand.com, visit richlaster.com. I don't care where you get it. get on my calendar. I'd like to have a conversation with you and get you ready to win. Because 2026 is not for the faint of heart. I'm Rich Laster with growexpand.com. It has been a pleasure to come before you. Now a word from our sponsor.
Company. We produce strategies and deploy experts to grow your business revenue. The success of our clients is a direct result of the 25+ years of sales and marketing experience of our founder, Rich Laster. We take the guesswork out of increasing your revenue. Our reputation is built on results, not another roll of the dice with your marketing budget. Visit growexpand.com to learn how.